Here is a black woman that does not make decisions on her emotions. Here is a black woman that does her research. Here is a black woman that sees things for what it is. Here is a black woman that cannot be manipulated. Here is a black woman that is God-fearing. And the only person that I will bow down to is God.
That there will come a time when black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves, as other humans are intellectually independent enough to think for themselves. Then the black man will think like a black man, and he will feel for other black people. And this new thinking and feeling will cause black people to stick together. And then at that point, you'll have a situation where when you attack one black man, you are attacking all black men. And this type of black thinking will cause all black people to stick together. And this type of thinking also will bring an end to the brutality inflicted upon black people by white people. And it is the only thing that will bring an end to it.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It's another day. I'm greeting you with a lot of love. And I thank you so much for always stopping by and standing strong and being part of the great awakening that is happening. Now, this message today is for you who is watching this video, because the black family worldwide, whether in America, in Caribbean, in Africa, in Europe, we need to hear this. And it's about global black awakening. Okay? Now, let me make one thing clear before I even dive deep into this video, into today's discussion. This is not a threat. Okay? Black people are not rising to threaten anyone. Black people are not waking up to destroy anyone. Black people are simply rising to who we really are. Okay? A people of power, of wisdom, of creativity, of resilience, and of divine purpose. Okay? But even though it is not a threat, but the reality is what white people are seeing, they are panicking. Okay, they are nervous, they are uncomfortable, they are restless. And the reason why they are is because the very foundation of their system, the lies, the control, the awakening of black people is a threat to the lies, not to my white brothers and sisters. Is a threat to the manipulation and to the oppression. Okay, because when we wake up, everything is exposed. Okay, and I'm going to talk about this awakening and what it really means. Okay, so stay tuned. But before I go down to that video, I want you to watch these clips of black people, and then we come back to more Mountain.
Black people are starting to wake up, and the spell is over. The veil has lifted, the curse, whatever you want to say that we was under, because you know some religious groups, specifically I think Mormons, say that black people are cursed. We ain't going no more. The energy harvesting is not working. The energy siphoning is not working. And I am so proud of us. I am so proud of us. I really feel like there's been a big shift, a big reset. You know, they say this is the age of the Aquarius, but we literally are waking up. They want us to be out in the streets so bad, rioting, looting, protesting, and we ain't going. We ain't got another community, the Latinos, they try to get us out there. They keep going. Why y'all not out here fighting and marching? We ain't going. Now they took about segregation. Why we don't care? And black people got a bad take because we all saying we don't give a damn. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. We don't give a damn. We ain't going. We're not allowing you all to steal and siphon our energy. And I love that for us. I love that for us real bad. Like I said, if we had to separate, if something happened, I believe in us so much that I believe that we will flourish. I believe that all that's happening has been a wake-up call to us as a collective to continue to get our eggs in a row, our ducks in a row, our affairs in order, and to continue to put on for ourselves and to pour back into our community. And I really love that for ourselves. I really do. Shouts out to the melanin-rich Americans. Shouts out to us. What y'all think about this? Do y'all feel like there's been a shift? Because I can feel the shift. I can feel it. We're not going. It doesn't work anymore. And we keep saying we ain't our ancestors. We are our ancestors. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. We are them times 10.
According to liberals, if you voted for Trump, you're racist. According to Biden, if you're black and you voted for Trump, you're not black. If you voted against Kamala or Hillary, you hate women. And if you voted against Obama, you went against the race. I think this is all laughable that they're so comfortable labeling us because they can't control us. When you can't control somebody because they use their brain to make decisions, they actually do their research, and they're not somebody that you can easily control by throwing out labels and calling them inappropriate words and all sorts of that, you're scary to them. You're dangerous to them because they feel like, oh, I can't control this person with certain narratives, so what I'm going to do is label them. Knowledge is power. When you have knowledge and you can see things for what it is, and you don't need the government or people who are government pawns to be telling you how to think, how to believe, how to act and all that stuff, you're dangerous to them and they want to get rid of you. And let me tell you something that the government and liberals hate so much. They hate a knowledgeable black person. When you are knowledgeable and you are black and you cannot be controlled, they don't know what to do with themselves. And they know it's one of the most dangerous things ever because for years they have used black people to do what they want to do. They have come in there and they know that black people who are vulnerable and do not know a lot of stuff are one of the easiest people to manipulate because they know that we make up a huge majority when it comes to voting. So they hate it so much when they see a black person that cannot be controlled and is knowledgeable. And what do they try to do? They silence that black person, try to make that person look like they're crazy. But guess what? More of us are coming out. More of us are opening our eyes. More of us are actually learning, reading, researching, and actually coming to terms with what things are and not being able to be controlled. And they are about to lose their minds because they're understanding and realizing that it's becoming more popular for a black person to use their brain and to wake up and figure out what it is that they're doing to them. So, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Anna Banks. Here is a black woman that does not make decisions on her emotions. Here is a black woman that does her research. Here is a black woman that sees things for what it is. Here is a black woman that cannot be manipulated. Here is a black woman that is God-fearing. And the only person that I will bow down to is God.
You go to Africa though, they connected to tribes. They're not saying, yo, I'm this. No, I'm from this tribe. Like this is how deep my tribe go. We run through these countries and that's real, you know what I'm saying? But we don't approach shit like that. So if you can't connect to a tribe, you can't connect to herbs and minerals. It's a difference, you know what I'm saying? You can't control, you can't connect to what got us grounded. So it actually woke me up, letting me know who's what. So yeah, niggas like, oh, you ain't black. You're like, yeah, that nigga sleep.
The person that wrote this told you that Jesus is coming very soon. You, as a black person that have never seen Jesus before, they tell you that prepare yourself. Jesus is on the way coming. They tell you sleep in the church every day, be praying. Forget about buying houses. Forget about building houses. Forget about your children. Focus on heaven. They wrote this thing and tell you that Jesus is coming very soon. And his reward is in his hand. It's in this Bible. But the family of the king today know the person that will be the next king in the next 2,000 years. They are not preparing to go to heaven. They are preparing to be here in the next 2,000 years. They know who is going to be the king. It has already been arranged. It's only black person that is preparing for heaven.
How can you have a country and your currency is being printed outside? You say you are a sovereign nation. No, the church must speak. Look at what that young man has done. He's in his 30s. The man they are calling a dictator, look at the development he has brought to that country. He has built 2 gold refinery. Before, they carry all the gold out. He's providing employment. He's building factories, building roads, apartments, buildings, developing the nation. But you say what? He's a dictator. How? In 2.5 years, what that guy has done, you can't deceive us again. They take hold of your media and they paint Africa black. They paint us black. They say we are not. What Africa needs is not politicians. We need real leaders. Leaders who care for the nation. And unfortunately, they are able to confuse us because there are some greedy folks, little ones, they look for them and they give them money and they ask them to bring confusion. And that's what is happening. Our borders confusion all over, so they can exploit us. But the time has come and the church must awake and pray against some of these things and speak also. We should be able to speak truth to power. This is a truth. This is truth that is bitter in their mouth. And we need to speak it. Those big denominations, they should speak.
No such thing as a trans child. We have confused children and sick enabling adults.
why would I want to belong to a party that takes pride in shedding innocent blood? Number one, as if that's not what God hates. Number two, as if there's not a black market for baby organs. And number three, as if abortion clinics didn't start in the hood. Because if you think Trump is bad, you should research exactly who Margaret Sanger was. But speaking of the black community, why would I want to belong to a party who's responsible for the foundation of the Triple K? But it's not just that. Supposedly in the 1900s, the party switched, right? But what never changed, what I noticed never changed, is Democrats' love for immigration, how they have always prioritized that over the black community. I mean, imagine every single Democrat leader helping you joke about what a black job is in 2024, exposing your ignorance on 1924 and how imperative the Immigration Act of that year was, how it was all reversed in 1965 with the Hart-Celler Act, how Congress refuses the advice of the Rockefeller Commission.
Right now, we are talking about the deep consciousness shift that is happening across the globe among black people, okay? An awakening is not just about politics. It's not just about majority or just about money. An awakening is not just about politics or money or even just about culture. No, it's about complete realization of the truth. Okay? The Black Awakening is black people realizing that we were lied to about our history. It's about black people realizing that we are more than slavery and colonization. Is that black people realizing that we carry the root of civilization, that unity is our weapon and self-love is our shield. That is what Black Awakening means. Okay? And for centuries, for a lot of years, we were taught that to see ourselves through the eyes of our oppressors. We were told that we were slaves. We were told that we are poor. We were told that Africa is backward. We were told that being black is, But right now, the chains are breaking and black children today are asking questions, okay? They're asking questions, and these questions no one can answer. Neither government or school cannot answer. Right now, our children are discovering books. Our children are discovering videos and archives that tell a different story, okay? And these are realization that Egypt is in Africa. They are realizing that. They are realizing that science and mathematics were born in Africa. They are realizing that the oldest human remains is from Africa. That means the first people to ever lived in the face of the earth are Africans. That's what our children are realizing, okay? So the awakening is not about hating white people. The awakening is about loving ourselves enough to step out of their lies. And once we do that, love begins. And this shakes the white supremacy. Now, do you know why it is not a threat, but a reality? Do you know? Because I keep saying it's not a threat because the moment black people stand up, white media run headlines that they are danger, they are a threat, they want revenge. Just the other day, DJT said our history is work. But this is projection. This is fear speaking. Black people are not threatening anyone. All we are doing is claiming our birthright. All we are doing is demanding respect and building our own economies. We are celebrating our own culture and we are refusing to let lies define us. That's all we are doing. Calling for accountability is not a threat. Asking for reparations is not a threat. Okay? So, this is never a threat. It is not a threat. This is reality. The reality is that black business is growing. The reality is that African economies or African countries are rejecting colonial control. The reality is that diaspora youths are now saying no to assimilation. The reality is the media's propaganda is being rejected and the church's lies are being questioned. White power always survives on black sleep. But when black people wake up, the game is over. Long over. And not because we attack, but because truth destroyed lies by itself. So when I say no, when I say this one is not a threat, I mean black people are simply living in truth. But when truth shines, those who build system on lies are seeing this one as a threat. Okay? So, let me address the elephant in the room. Why are white people panicking? Why is white system panicking? The elephant in the room is this one. They are panicking because control is sleeping. Okay? For centuries, they control the narrative. They told us what history was. They told us what success meant. They told us what is beauty or what beauty is. They told us who God is. But right now, we are rewriting the script. Black women wear neutral hair with pride. Black men claim African spirituality. African Americans invent in things in Africa. They go in Ghana, they invest there. They go in Kenya, they invest there. Young black entrepreneurs are saying they don't need bank loans anymore. They are building their own. Now, nothing scares the system more than a free thinking of black person. White panic is not about us attacking them. White panic is about them seeing the lies crumbling. They see that the more we rise as black people, the less their system matters. So their movies doesn't inspire us anymore. Okay? Their history books don't fool us anymore as it was doing. Their religion does not trap us anymore. They are panicking because they realize this, that if black people ever fully unite, their system ends. Not by war, not by gun, but by unity, truth, and independence. We have historical lies from way back that are being exposed right now. And the reason why DJT is trying to erase history, the reason why he's trying to whitewash history is because that history they're trying to erase is very ugly and it is their real history, okay? Another reason of panicking is that the lies are being exposed one by one. When they told us that Africa has no history, they didn't know that one day we'll come to realize our history. They told us that black people contributed nothing to science, but now the world is waking up to know about Imhotep. Okay? The Africans who laid the foundation of medicine. They told us that slavery was about civilization or civilizing us. But right now we know slavery was about wealth, greed, and genocide. So the lies are falling apart. Museums are forced to admit that African artifacts were stolen. Universities are forced to acknowledge African origins of philosophy. And even white people themselves are confessing that their ancestors built a system of lies. We are seeing those videos. And here's the truth. Here is the truth. If all this comes out, if the lies are exposed, it cannot go back. And that's why this awakening is so permanent. Okay? I have seen Gen Zs are waking up. Gen Zs and millennials are so much different. Okay? Gen Zs are not silent. They are not afraid anymore. They are not falling for the same tricks. And the question is, if Gen Zs are waking up, how are we going to control them? And that's what they're trying to do. Gen Zs right now, they question everything. They look at the education system and say, why does history start with slavery? They look at religion and say, why does God always look white? They look at beauty standards and say, why is lighter always called better? Okay? And most importantly, the Gen Zs, they are choosing culture over assimilation. Okay? They are choosing black pride over white validation. They are choosing entrepreneurship over begging for jobs. They are choosing Africa over Europe. And this is why white people are panicking, because they can no longer brainwash the next generation. Social media right now is spreading knowledge, okay? And this knowledge they cannot censor. And once the youths wake up, the future belongs to truth, okay? Now, for too long, the enemy used division. African versus African American, Caribbean versus African, Nigerian versus Kenyan, Haitian versus Jamaican. But now, the wall is falling. Black Americans are flying to Africa. Black Americans are investing to Africa. They are buying lands. We are reconnecting, okay? We are realizing that we are one people. We are realizing that we are family. And let me tell you something. Nothing scares the system more than Pan-African unity, because when we connect, we build unstoppable power, okay? Economic unit, spiritual unit, cultural unit, political unit, etc., etc. So the unity is the true nightmare of the white supremacy, and it's happening right now, okay? And I think another reason why the white people are panicking is because of the economic awakening that's happening in black communities worldwide, okay? For centuries, they controlled our labor, but denied as wealth. They made millions from slavery, from colonization and exploitation. They made money off cotton, sugar, gold, diamonds, and right now the tide is turning, because black business are rising. African economies are finding independence from Western aid, The The diaspora is pouring billions back into Africa through remittance and investment. So we are no longer just consumers of white products, but we are producers of our own. And the shift alone is revolutionary. Okay? And when black people start practicing group economic, the system trembles, because they know if the global African community, over 1.4 billion people, directs its money inwards, then we create the strongest economy as black people ever in the world. And this is why you see attack on black-owned businesses. This is why you see attempts to destabilize African developments or African governments, okay? So, black people are waking up to the truth spiritually and culturally everywhere, you know? And it's not about fear, it's about power. We are remembering that our ancestors were connected to nature, the universe, to the Most High in ways that was pure, in ways that were powerful, okay, and unbroken. So this awakening is why more black people are questioning Christianity and Islam as tools of colonization. This awakening is why African traditions are being reclaimed. This awakening is why meditation, ancestral honor, and holistic healing are rising again in our communities, okay? This is not about abandoning faith. Is about reclaiming truth, because a people cut from their spiritual roots are easy to control, are easy to manipulate, but are people connected to their ancestors, to their true divine source, they are unstoppable. And trust me, white supremacy knows this. They know very well, and that's why they fear our drums. That's why they fear the chants of black people. They fear the music. They fear our sacred knowledge. They know that once we are spiritually awake, no propaganda, no media, no police force can enslave us once again, okay? So we need to rise as black people. We need to rise as black people. Because what we are seeing right now, it means that the future of black liberation is not a dream. It is a plan. And we are no longer on survival mode. We are building. Economically, we will control our resources. Culturally, we will dominate with pride. Spiritually, we will be connected to the truth. So liberation is not about revenge. Liberation is about freedom. Liberation is about waking tall without fear. Liberation is about our children knowing that they are kings and queens, not slaves and victims. Liberation is about Africa being the center of power, not the target of exploitation. Okay? So we need to be vigilant. We need to wake up as black people, because the time is coming. It's not coming again. The time is now, and it is happening. And that's why we see the white panic. That's why we see the system crumbling. That's why we see empires are falling, because the lies cannot hold together anymore. Tell me what you think on the comment section. Until next episode, peace out.